folks, Ariel over here at Finest. What you are just watched us put together is our brand new duck yard. As you can probably see, it's right beside the chicken yard. And welcome if you're new, but if you've been following life here for a while, you know we have Mr. and Mrs. Quack, and we had various other things befall the rest of the ducks in the past year, so it's just been the two of them as far as ducks, and they have just slept in the chicken yard every night. I tried to get them to go in the barn with the chickens. I knew they didn't want to climb up on the roost, but I thought they could sleep on the floor. They never wanted to. I built them a little duck hut in the yard. They never wanted to sleep in that. They just slept on the ground. But they would be in there at night. I closed the door and they were safe and no coon or anything could get to them again. But we are expecting some new ducklings, and we also have teenage chicks you can probably see running around in the background there. Ignore the fact that there is little baby chicks in here. These are not ducks. I just put them in here when we got this finished the other day because it was handy to let them run around for a couple days till they're almost big enough for me to start letting them out during the day to run with the bigger guys. But anyway, we got plenty of chickens to have the space in there. And the ducks have always been a little bit panicky when the chickens get too close to them, ever since they were very little. The chickens and the ducks were very little. They get along fine if they're out, but when they're penned up, the ducks like a little bigger personal space bubble, it seems. So with more ducks on the way, we figured we should do that. So this is named Anne's Duck Yard. I hope I spelled her name right. It might have an E on the end. I could not remember. There's one person watching this who will know why it's named that, and we and the ducks thank her very much for making this possible. Anyway, we built this yard exactly like we have built the chicken yard here that attaches to the barn. It actually shares a wall with it. We could have made it freestanding, but it seemed to make the most sense to have them here together. So what this is made out of is the sides are these very heavy welded steel dog kennel panels. It's a 10-foot by 10-foot square. There's a door panel in the front, and then there'd be 3 side panels, but we used the one that was already existing. It's very heavy. It's much sturdier than chain link. And then basically the same wire. This is the same stuff our fence is made out of the whole way around the perimeter. This 2-inch by 4-inch, I think it's called horse security panel, but it's made like a cattle panel or a hog panel, except with a smaller mesh size. That is what is on the floor and what is on the roof, and that prevents anything from digging in or climbing in or flying in or anything. It's worked really well. We've had absolutely no losses since we built that one, and we did have that monster coon try to get in, and who knows what all else. As you can see when I put the tarp on, this roof is pretty sturdy the way Clay built it there with it all tied together and then resting on a center post to give it a little bit of an arch, which also makes it really easy to walk around in there without smacking your head. But it's sturdy enough I can walk around on top of it, and I weigh a good bit. And then around the sides here, what you saw me add was hardware cloth. It's got the little 1/2-inch squares because ducks less so, they would probably run away from the edge, but especially the chickens, when they're sleeping, they go kind of comatose at night, and you can like pick them up, a bird that would normally flutter and squawk and fly off in the day, but it causes a problem when if something like a coon came along at night, because even though they couldn't get in, they could get their hand through and reach in these bars, and I have heard of them reaching in and killing birds by pulling their heads off or pulling their wings off or whatever, even though they can't get the whole thing. So this hardware cloth goes around the whole perimeter. So even if one reached in, it would have to reach from clear up here, and the coon arms aren't long enough and the birds are too low. It should not be able to reach down and reach them because it can't reach through anywhere here. It can't dig under, it can't get in from the top. So for our area, this has worked to be super predator proof. I think even if we got like a bear in our yard, I don't think they'd get in this. We could probably lock you in it, and I'm not sure you could get out. It definitely stops anything like a coon or a skunk, obviously any aerial predator like a hawk or an eagle or an owl, anything that would dig under, any coyote, fox, dog, anything like that. And about the only thing I can think of that it wouldn't stop, which isn't an issue for us, but people have asked me how do I deal with snakes. The only snakes we have around here are some tiny little garter snakes that eat bugs and stuff in the garden, and we love them, and I don't see very many of them, but they're certainly not big enough to hurt a chicken. I know that is an issue in some areas, and I don't have a good answer for that. I haven't dealt with that, but for everything else, this seems to work really well. It is a little bit pricier than some ways of going about building it, but we decided we would rather, do that, invest in that, and then have a very solid structure that's very easy to use and work with and should last the rest of our lives. So for now, the little baby meat guys are running around in here till they get just a little bit bigger. They are growing rapidly, and then this is a surprise to only those of you who watch the whole way to the end of the video are going to see. This is what's going on under Ember right now. This is happening right this second as I record this. I'm going to try to get this out in a few minutes, so you're going to be seeing this the day this is going on. We'll have an update when we got some more news, but this is what's happening right now.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Come back next time for more adventures.
Thanks for watching.